Halloween, a night of fun, laughter, and trick-or-treating. But for some, it's a night that brings out the darkness in people, turning a night of joy into a night of terror. These 5 real-life Halloween stories aren't just tales of spooks and scares, they're true nightmares. Be warned, what you're about to hear may make you think twice about answering the door on Halloween night. Story 1. The Halloween Mass Murder. Imagine opening your door on Halloween night to a friendly trick-or-treater, but instead of candy, what you get is death. In 1957, Peter Fabiano, a husband and father from Napa, California, thought he was answering the door to another costume visitor, but instead, he was met by someone wearing a strange, lifelike Halloween mask. Without a word, the masked figure raised a gun and fired. Peter dropped to the ground, dead. The police were baffled until months later, they discovered the killer wasn't some random stranger. It was a woman named Joan Rabel, who was obsessed with Peter's wife, Betty. She planned the murder using the mask to hide her identity, turning what should have been a harmless Halloween night into a blood-soaked tragedy. Story 2. Poison Halloween Candy. Halloween candy, sweet, innocent, and deadly. In 1974, Ronald Clark O'Brien gave his children and some neighborhood kids pixie stick filled with cyanide. His goal? To kill his own son for life insurance money. Tragically, his son, Timothy, ate the poison candy and died in agony. The other children were lucky. None of them ate the deadly treats, but the horror of the event scarred the town forever. Ronald O'Brien was later called the man who killed Halloween, forever tainting the holiday with fear. Story 3. The Disappearance of Cindy Song. A fun Halloween party, a cute bunny costume, and then she vanished without a trace. In 2001, 21-year-old Cindy Song attended a Halloween party at Penn State. She was last seen in her bunny costume, being dropped off at her apartment. The next day, she was gone. Her purse, her keys, even her false eyelashes all left behind. But Cindy had disappeared. Search parties scoured the area, but no trace of Cindy was ever found. Was she abducted? Did something more sinister happen that night? To this day, her disappearance remains an unsolved mystery, haunting the minds of everyone who knew her. Story 4. The Halloween House of Horrors. Halloween morning in 1982. A family wakes up, but not to the joy of trick-or-treating. Instead, they find death lurking inside their own home. In Chicago, Illinois, a family of 6 was found brutally murdered in their home. Occult symbols were scattered throughout the house, leading police to believe it was the work of a cult. But the truth was even more shocking. The father, David Hendricks, was arrested for the murders, but years later, he was acquitted, leaving the case unsolved. The house, once filled with laughter, became a haunted memory of a Halloween night that would never be forgotten. Story 5. The Halloween Killer. For 2 young girls, a night of trick-or-treating turned into their worst nightmare. In 1981, Kristina and Stephanie, just 10 and 11 years old, went trick-or-treating in their small Wisconsin town. They never made it home. The next day, their bodies were found in a nearby forest, brutally murdered. Years later, Gerald Turner, a man from their neighborhood, was convicted of the crime. He had invited the girls into his house, pretending to offer them candy. Instead, he offered them death. Now known as the Halloween Killer, his crime sent chills through the town and left parents forever cautious on Halloween night. These true stories are reminders that Halloween isn't just about tricks and treats. Sometimes, behind the masks and costumes, real evil lurks. So next time you open your door to a stranger or accept candy from someone you barely know, remember, not all monsters are hiding in the shadows. Some are right in front of us. This has been Darkside Mysteries. Sleep well, if you can.